Yo, what up? What's poppin'? Back at it again with another video for y'all. Just want to chat with y'all, and this is another question that I have for y'all. When it comes down to school now these days, is school more about learning or is it more about memorizing? Is school more about memorizing facts and less about learning? Is school more about memorizing information for a test and then taking a test and then forgetting about it a week later? Because if that's like really the case, then it seems that school is more about memorizing facts and less about learning. But again, this is another question for y'all. Engage with me, chat with me. Drop me a comment in the comment section. Engage with me. Let's have a discussion about this. But I'm going to give y'all my answer to the question. Like, is school more about learning or is it more about memorizing? To answer your question, when it comes down to taking a test, and then you do well on the test, or you may not do so well, like you end up forgetting about the information like a week later. It's that right there is more about memorizing facts and less about learning. So to answer your question, it seems like now these days it's more about memorizing and less about learning. Because when it comes down to taking a test and like, whether you do well on the test or whether you don't do so well, like you don't even remember that information. Like, like it's almost like you're being set up for failure. You know what I mean? So yeah, to answer your question, it does kind of seem to me that it's more about memorizing facts and less about learning. And like I was saying before, just because you don't do well on a test does not mean that you're a failure. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. Like I keep on telling y'all that because it's very important for y'all to know that. It's very important for y'all to know that no matter how many times you fail a test, you're not a failure. When it comes down to you chasing your dreams, you're gonna fail numerous times. And you see a lot of people don't even be willing to chase their dreams because they're afraid to fail. I mean, I don't really like it when I mess up either. I don't really like it when I fail, but I got to keep on going. My dream is important to me, and I know that y'all dreams are important to y'all too. So don't be afraid to fail. Failure is a part of the process when you're on the road to success. Failure is a part of the process when you're chasing your dream. Just because you fail does not mean that you're never gonna make it. Just because you fail does not mean that your dream is not gonna come true. There's no smooth mountain. But yeah, the school system, when you take a test, like the teacher, they teach you this information, like and a student may ask a question, is this gonna be on the test? Sometimes the teacher may respond with a yes or no. It pretty much seems like, with you sitting down in the classroom being taught all of this information, it seems like they trying to cram it in your brain. And that's another thing too. Teachers be forgetting stuff too. Sometimes a teacher may even have to ask a student, what notes did we go over? Sometimes, like the student may have to remind them. Sometimes the student may have to remind them, what does the student do? The student like shows the teacher the notes that they had ended up going over in class, to help the teacher out because, teachers, they be having a lot on their plate too. Some of them teachers actually coach sports. Like they're, and just like with the term student athlete, they say you become a student first, then an athlete. And just like with coaches, they say that they're a teacher first, then a coach. But like I was saying before, the term student athlete, again, I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but I've seen a lot of stuff. And again, not to be negative, but in high school, some of them guys, just because of the sport they play, is the only reason they come to school. And I'm not trying to be negative. This is facts. This is factual. I'm not trying to be negative. the term student athlete, them athletes know that the stuff that they're being taught in school, that a lot of it doesn't really have nothing to do with the sport that they play. And the thing about it is that, like, for example, you a football player or a basketball player, and you're talking about the sport that you play. The teacher may say, like, you could be in math class, you could be in algebra, and the teacher may say that basketball players use math, football players use math, but you see, it doesn't really have nothing to do with what our class is all about. See, that's how teachers can be sometimes. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, them athletes know that the stuff that they're learning in school doesn't really have nothing to do with the sport that they play. But yo, I just want to like help y'all out. I want to wake y'all up. I just want to give y'all the woke knowledge. I mean, Kyrie Irving, point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving, he's a woke basketball player. I believe Kyrie Irving is probably like one of the few NBA players in the NBA that don't have the what. You know what I mean? But yeah, to answer your question, do I feel that school is more about memorizing and less about learning? To answer your question, I kind of do feel that way. You take a test and then you forget about the information a week later. Sometimes the teacher may even forget, and you may have to be that one student that takes notes where you end up showing them the notes that y'all had went over because they forget too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, engage with me, chat with me, drop me a comment in the comment section. Let's have a discussion about this. Is school more about learning and less, like it? Let me rewind that. Is school more about memorizing facts and less about learning? Engage with me, chat with me. Let's have a discussion about this. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on my channel, comment, share. Love y'all.